The former assistant of Kris Jenner says that she had had nightmares on Kardashian when she raises the cover that he was in fact similar to work for a famous family, to spend hours of signature training designers. Iron NDA. Welcome to Celebrity Gossip Mill. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming celebrity gists. Former personal assistant Kris Jenner shared his maxims and workfall on the Kardashian matriarch to have nightmares on the famous family and the need to sign the iron standard in order to be PowerPoint. To study the creator's /names fashionable, Madlin Maddie Steitz, from Washington, but now lives in Venis Bich, California, says that she worked as a personal assistant from Kris from February 2022 to April 2022, before leaving to start her own business. For the last 3 months, Maddy learned a lot, and now she has become a virus for Tactoku, who shared some of the valuable lessons she taught him. She also talked about the secrets found by working on Momager and talked about the specific drawbacks provided using Best Star. In her latest video, Maddy opened up about one thing she's unforgettable about working with Kris: the time she spent thinking about her boss. She explained that working for such a famous family meant that she was constantly thinking about them, causing her to have terrible nightmares when she slept. One of the things I'll never forget about being Kris Jenner's personal assistant was the time I spent thinking about the Kardashians, she admitted. I literally had nightmares about the whole Kardashian family because I couldn't stop thinking about them all the time. But it is part of a personal assistant. In a follow-up video, Maddy claimed that her bad dreams were not negative, that Kris did it, but they were only part of their work. She said this is completely part of the job, no matter who works for you. Their whole life is your life. One person I worked for had a lock on their front door that would sometimes get stuck, and I would think about it at the worst times and couldn't sleep because I was afraid their front door is not locked. She added in the caption, "Life as a personal assistant is its own form of trauma, haha." In other videos, Maddy shed more light on what it's like to work for a mogul. She remembers growing up in a small town in Washington state and having to teach herself how to pronounce the names of fashion brands because we didn't have a lot of money. She said she plans to study 4 hours so she doesn't look stupid when talking about fashion with Kris. "One of the fun things I learned being Kris Jenner's assistant was how to pronounce the designer's name," she said. She said, "Before I worked for Kris, I liked fashion and style, but I didn't like designers. I came from a very small town and didn't have a lot of money. So I literally had to study the names of designers, so much so that I saved an entire PowerPoint. I had to learn how to not look stupid when I said Versace, Gucci, Goyard. It didn't happen." Maddy also talked about having to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which she explained is extremely important in her position because she has access to so much information. She said, "I can't imagine a personal assistant role that doesn't require an NDA. Confidentiality is a very important part of the job, whether you're a celebrity or not, because you need access to so much information," she explained. She made nearly everyone she worked for, famous or unknown, sign non-disclosure agreements, some much more stringent than others, she added. "It all depended on the level of confidentiality that the clients I was working with wanted or needed," she continued. "Some people are not so strict, but there are others, and I can say that I work there and use the true information that my LinkedIn is in my LinkedIn." She acknowledged that this would happen with many advantages, but since you are often stuck, you will execute instructions and perform tired behavior, such as foldable linen and fields of fields. It's not always as fun as you think. If you had an assistant, you'd want them to do everything you don't want to do, she says. Like having to remember to schedule meetings, run errands, and random things. This is an ideal work for a person like me, an OCR, and loves organizing, but this perfect dream is near people who live an ideal dream. Cannot live. She explained how she became a personal assistant after graduating from the University of Washington in the field of politics and criminal justice, and explained her potential. She contacted the client who needed a personal assistant and asked if he liked the role, and said he worked in Los Angeles in the retail business. It was a bit of destiny. I worked in retail and met a woman in the store who I got along really well with, she said. She asked me if I wanted to be her assistant, and this was the first time she had ever looked for an assistant, and I just said yes. We went to lunch and talked and became really good friends. I think that's the most important step. You should work for someone you truly respect and enjoy spending time with. According to LinkedIn, Maddy then worked as a personal assistant to the CEO of a company called Hire Force from February 2020 until March 2020. She also worked as an assistant to popular YouTuber Lewis Cole from July 2020 to August 2021. He then joined the investment firm Teal Capital, where he worked as an office coordinator from August 2021 to January 2022, and as a finance and legal representative from January 2022 to February 2022. She worked for Kris for 3 months in early 2022 before quitting to launch her own business, Maddy's Natural Sweeteners. I spent about 4 years working as an assistant to various CEOs, both personal and executive, and had about 6 different roles before becoming Kris' personal assistant, she said on TikTok. He looked back on his own journey. I got a few jobs through LinkedIn and recruiting, but mostly word of mouth. Please let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more interesting gossip. Until next time, stay awesome and keep living your best life.